Mayor Sharon Owens, thank you for joining us this evening. I wanted to start by asking you why you think it's important to foster such an open relationship with Syracuse University.
I mean, it's my alma mater. I had some really fond memories here at Syracuse University. And I think it's important for me to continue to come to the campus and talk to students. So I'm really recruiting students to stay here like I did, really helping people understand there's a path here in Syracuse, particularly now, the way we're growing and the way we're moving, even if it's for a moment, but really to be engaged in the neighborhoods in Syracuse.
Obviously, we have a changing of the guards here at Syracuse University when it comes to the academic experience and athletics. I just wanted to hear your opinion on these announcements over the past few months.
I know Mr. Haney, Mike Haney. We've worked with him in his previous role in the City Hall. Knew him and talked to them. We talked to Syracuse University staff on pretty much a day-to-day basis. It'll be interesting to hear more about kind of his agenda for the university. Different iterations of chancellors come with their own focus. I remember Nancy Cantor, she really invested in the city and, you know, the warehouse and on the south side and the gateway. Chancellor Severu really emphasized the part of the research hospital. I know Mr. Haney, the Veteran Center was his, big motivation. It'll be interesting to see where he's going.
In your view, what are possibilities that the city can work with SU students to maximize the efficiency of the I-81 Viaduct project and the future of Syracuse?
I mean, this is a research university, and you have an amazing architectural school. You have an amazing social work school, an education school, and there's so many different components of what's going on with the I-81 project beyond just bricks and mortar. Along with the I-81 project is the new development of SUNY Hospital, which is a neighbor here up on the hill, to really expand the health care for pediatric emergency care. Particularly for the I-81 project, it is ensuring that you're learning about the history of the 15th Ward before we talk about the future of Almond Street.
You mentioned the difficulties in working with the federal administration here in Syracuse. We have a very passionate city when it comes to public policy and reactions to ICE raids just down the road at Upstate Medical University. What is your stance as the leader of Syracuse on instances like these?
So one thing that as mayor is that I have declared that our police department will not enter into agreements with ICE. We will not serve as agents of ICE, performing any ICE duties. We have a policy within the police department prohibiting that, and I'm a full supporter of New York for All, the governor's initiative to prohibit agreements with ICE and municipalities, because that goes on in other municipalities in New York State.
You mentioned the 15th Ward. Pioneer Homes is going to be torn down before the end of the year. I wanted to ask your view on the future of the landscape of public housing, and especially for residents who feel like their concerns aren't being heard when it comes to issues like Nob Hill just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, the HUD has really moved away from the traditional public housing model, and they've gone to these RAD models, and where we're developing more townhouse kind of models and LIHTC development, low-income housing tax credit development projects. Again, there are provisions within the HUD regulations, knock on wood, that none of those go away under this current administration, that protect the tenants there. A lot of community outreach has been going on by community-based organizations, tenant rights organizations. The project needs to get moving because the people who live in that neighborhood deserve 21st century housing. Pioneer Homes was the first public housing built in New York State. And so 21st century housing with amenities for a 21st century family needs to happen in that community.
I kind of have a two-part question regarding the Syracuse City School District staying in headlines regarding chronic absenteeism and as well as their leadership. I was wondering what you are actively doing to help combat this and possibly your reaction to investigations going on about Syracuse City School District's leadership.
So as far as absenteeism, we have been working in conjunction with Onondaga County and the school district. So the role of the city, as you look at those different municipal roles, the county serves as a safety net program, really providing the social services aspects of service provision. What can we do? If a lack of quality housing is stopping a child from getting to school, is it violence in their community? So really being able to talk to the district about what is child by child by child preventing them from getting to school. Many of our students are not coming to school because they're providing daycare for their younger siblings. So what can the city do about that? Well, we can assist with ensuring that home daycares can meet the regulations for New York State to provide an eclectic amount or option of daycare for people. The bottom line is that kids can't learn if they're not in the seats. As far as the leadership is concerned, my responsibility will be is to fill the vacant position that's there now. I'm required through state ed law to do that, and that is what I'm going to do.
Surveillance has been a big initiative of the city's over the past year. Just today, the city has changed its partnership with Flock surveillance cameras to Axon. Can you speak to why that happened?
So we have a history with Axon as far as our body-worn cameras, our cop camera technology throughout the city. One of the things that we absolutely learned from Flock was to further redefine print. And so our corporation counsel in entering into those agreements with them are looking at that. Now, it is my understanding that Axon at one time was going to assume Flock, but decided not to because of those policies and those policies. So we do know facial recognition is a policy of the city. It is too racially biased, and so Axon, we will continue to push through in the relationship with them, ensuring that they're meeting their contracts and their data security meets our standards.
You mentioned in the forum that 51% of properties in Syracuse do not pay property taxes, and the university itself being a large contributor to that. What do you think is the best route to go in terms of collecting the necessary funds for the city?
Yeah, we are going to be entering in this service agreement with the university. Right now we get $2.5 million from the university. We're looking at other models throughout the state of New York, Ithaca with Cornell. We also want to look at what that relationship means as far as are there amenities in our community that Syracuse University could take over development for, maintenance for, that type of thing. So those conversations are happening now. It is not, we've been having this conversation across the I-90 corridor between Buffalo, Albany, the state capital, and Rochester, because that tax disparity is unsustainable. And so we're really looking at taking a look at a formula, creation of a formula, that if it's not the entire assessed value of not-for-profit organizations like Syracuse University, what about a percentage?
Mayor Sharon Owens, thank you so much for joining us tonight.